Hello, my name is Josette Gaston, and I'm going to present to you Stage 2 of my signature project. I chose to research and study the impact of peer mentoring through cooperative learning groups in the area of math. Throughout this presentation, I'm going to summarize and describe the research that I conducted and the experimental study that I created to address the needs related to my current classroom. It should be noted that the time in the school year between projects has not allowed for the research itself to be conducted, and that this research study is a proposal only. Math is a critical area of learning throughout a child's education, especially during the early years. In our school system, modifications are constantly being made to improve the effectiveness of teaching techniques, and students are encouraged daily to use number sense and critical thinking skills to try to increase math proficiency. Schools in our district also have a math coach now to support teachers and students in reaching the new goals that are put in place. However, some students are still below the expected proficiency level despite all of these efforts. This study intends to determine if structured peer mentoring in the classroom will provide the missing link between instruction and academic achievement. Although there is a strong emphasis on student success in math, the strategies that are used do not always reflect the needs of the students. Traditional methods are used to present math concepts with the expectation that all students will learn the material the same way. This makes it hard for some students to master standards, resulting in a struggle to keep up in the classroom and continued problems and deficits. Research shows that students retain more information when hands-on and collaborative activities are implemented. When the methods that we use don't reach our learners, we create a deficit in their learning experience that could be ongoing if it is not addressed. This deficit will grow and affect each level of a student's math proficiency. Unfortunately, recent placement level test scores show a significant deficit in math proficiency for first grade students at Millward High School. Our methods are not meeting the needs of all of our learners, and skills are not being mastered. This chart represents the STAR Math Enterprise testing report for the students in my first grade classroom at Millward High School. The Washington County School District uses this screening and progress monitoring system, which was created by Renaissance Learning, to determine student placement and proficiency. This system has been implemented by our district for several years now and gives insight into individualized standard mastery for student achievement. This data was taken in August 2025 and is based on the level that students are expected to be performing at for their age and academic level. As a state benchmark, students are expected to score at or above 790 at this age. As you can see, the overall student proficiency in math for this class is well below the expected benchmark level. According to this STAR Math Enterprise report, I only have 3 students who are proficient in math. I discussed these results with my co-teachers as well as our school counselor. After discussion, review of student reports, observations, and review of this data, we have confirmed that math is a weak area in this classroom and that it is in need of modification. The target population and experimental group for this quantitative experimental research study will be my first grade classroom at Millward High School. This particular classroom consists of 15 students, 7 males and 8 females. Of the 15, only 3 have been determined to be proficient in the area of math. This study will be conducted alongside another first grade classroom, which will be the control group, and they will continue to use traditional approach to present math instruction. This sampling technique was convenient sampling. They were chosen based on availability and current data. Appropriate to this study, their math scores demonstrate a significant deficit in the area of math. This study will be implemented to determine the effectiveness of using peer mentoring cooperative learning groups in the classroom. To counteract the math proficiency deficit that has been identified through the STAR Math Enterprise for this first grade classroom, students will be grouped with other students of mixed ability levels. This will create an opportunity for every student to have their own responsibility within the group and to be able to contribute their insight. There are 15 students within the sample population, and they will be divided into 3 groups of 5 students each. Each group will interact with modeled lessons that require critical thinking skills and collaborative effort from every group member. Teacher preparedness will allow structure to be formed, methods to be in place, individual responsibilities to be known, and materials to be prepared. There should be a set plan in place each day to know what material will be presented, how it will be presented, and what group responsibilities go with each lesson. Instruction should be given whole group, then group leaders should know their role in modeling the math strategy to their group afterwards. This strategy reflects peer mentoring to be used for collaboration purposes in order to engage all students. During cooperative learning groups, students will be assigned responsibilities prior to the time of engagement. Individual responsibilities include leader, helper, organizer, group speaker, and materials manager. Each student should feel a sense of responsibility and be accountable for participation in order for this system to be meaningful and effective. After instruction is modeled within the group, a meaningful activity should follow and present the opportunity for students to use critical thinking skills and insightful, positive discussion. This small group engagement allows the teacher the opportunity to observe and monitor activity within the group as well as student progress. Notable progress or deficits should be recorded, and a critique of the group roles and activities can be assessed for any needed modifications. Alterations should be made as necessary to ensure meaningful engagement within each group. Effective group work will result in increased student engagement, producing increased student proficiency in the area of math. With this increase in proficiency, the current math deficit will decrease, creating the opportunity for all learners to master grade level standards. Proficiency level will be assessed through the STAR Math Enterprise Report. The baseline data for the experimental group will be the previously collected data from STAR Math Enterprise. Cooperative learning groups will be implemented 3 times per week, and general assessments will be collected throughout this time. During this time, the control group will resume math instruction as normal. Every 2 weeks, students will be administered a shortened version of the assessment, which will be the progress monitoring portion of STAR to track progress. At the end of the 6 weeks, STAR Math Enterprise will be administered again to collect data from each group in order to determine the level of effectiveness. The timeline for this quantitative research experiment will span 6 weeks. When we give them the opportunity, students are able to provide valuable resources for themselves through structured peer mentoring. Research suggests that implementing peer mentoring into instructional practices has a significant impact on student achievement. Cooperative learning groups create an interactive atmosphere that allows students to take responsibility and to be in control of their own learning experience. They also contribute strategies that encourage independent thinking and problem solving by involving students in collaboration and engaging activities. The collected literature identifies the direct correlation between the implementation of cooperative learning groups and a higher level of proficiency in math. Different studies have used different formations of groups that all resulted in a slight to significant increase in math proficiency. Cooperative learning groups give them sufficient control over the activities that they are participating in, allowing them to make decisions on their own and self-correct when needed. The sense of responsibility provided encourages them to engage at a higher level and gives them motivation to understand the material and the standards that are given. These practices also help to form bonds within student groups, creating positive relationships and improving communication and socialization skills. The validity of this study is relevant for generalization purposes. All students are within the same age range. They all participate in this study within their original first grade classroom. All lessons and activities will be presented equally, and all students will be administered the same collection assessments. For the control group, data will be compared between grade level classrooms at the same school. All standards, lessons, and assessments will be aligned. Application of this study will include little to no risk of harm as the students are currently participating in the general first grade classroom. Participants will not transition to a different setting for this study. Informed consent will be obtained and all procedures will be explained prior to implementation. Neither student names nor personal information will be associated with the results of this study. Confidentiality will be observed throughout. Student names and information will be kept in a secure online database accessible only by applicable faculty. After consulting with the school counselor, it has been determined that there are no special considerations currently affecting this classroom. The timeline between signature projects for this study did not allow for completion of the research itself. Since this project consists of a research proposal only and no actual research was conducted, IRB approval was not necessary. The research collected on the use of peer mentoring through cooperative learning groups suggests a significant benefit for all students involved in this instructional strategy. It could provide multiple benefits for students as well as for teachers. Students work together promoting teamwork with the intention of achieving a goal while learning instructional skills. Communication is required, encouraging positive socialization skills, problem-solving skills are used, implementing higher-order thinking skills, and enhancing engagement. While students are actively engaged, the classroom teacher has the opportunity to observe and monitor students, allowing for assessment of any notable achievements or areas of deficit. Grouping by mixed abilities allows students to learn from one another while others are able to demonstrate their knowledge. They are able to process ideas and share through collaboration with their peers. This encourages a higher level of motivation and increased social relationships with peers while actively learning math standards. I anticipate that students who participate in cooperative learning groups with the support of peer mentoring for math instruction will have an increased level of proficiency. Any research study performed in a classroom setting is subject to some degree of limitation. Absenteeism could be the biggest conflict of interest within the range of limitations, limiting the amount of participation that they are able to receive. Student alertness can be impacted by outside situations, lack of sleep, and/or unhealthy eating habits. Student well-being is impacted by the encouragement that they receive at home, along with the amount of rest and healthy eating habits that they have. In order for participants to reach their highest achievement, they must be alert and engaged within the learning group. If this study were implemented and proficiency wasn't gained, other concepts could be integrated or altered within the same methodology. Grouping formations could be changed, differentiated instruction and instructional activities could be implemented, or alternate progress monitoring assessments could be used. I do believe, however, that this instructional method of collaboration could be very effective in the classroom. The last slide of this presentation includes the list of sources that were used in this research study. Thank you for your time.